second time in a row, Team USA was unable to even medal in the FIBA World Cup.
Team USA failed to medal at the 2023 FIBA World Cup.
When you're not defending at a high level and you're not getting out in transition, you're going to have a hard time winning in FIBA.
It's hard. These teams in FIBA are really good, well coached, and they've got continuity, and they've played together for a long time, so this is difficult.
Canada, the first time ever making it this far, and they have reached the podium. They have won the third place game against the United States. Germany have done it. They have conquered the world. Brilliant performance from Alexa Abramovich and Bogdan Bogdanovic, all World Cup long, but it's the team in white, Germany, that are going to reach the top of the podium.
Welcome back to the All Things Basketball podcast. This is going to be a sad / disappointing pod. First and foremost, I just want to say that I was wrong. Obviously, I was wrong about my prediction for Team USA. I thought that they would at least... I honestly thought they were going to win gold. It's interesting because, this whole world champs talk is really... I feel like the whole Noah Lyles thing just made this bigger than what it already was. Obviously... There was already a conversation about the world is catching up and that the U.S. is disrespecting the rest of the world by sending, mid-level talent or, not the best talent, as you hear all over the place. And it is true. I do want to say this, though. Shout out to Germany. Shout out to Canada, Serbia. Obviously, Germany being the champs, Serbia second place with silver, and Canada obviously beating the U.S. in that overtime game for the bronze. Shout out to all those teams. Shout out to SUDAN, right? Just that's an interesting story. I'll put a link in the description regarding like Luol Deng and the team just achieving some historical things for themselves. But shout out to just honestly the rest of the world for putting together such a great FIBA competition. Like honestly, I bought the FIBA pass. It was like $7 or $8, and you could basically you basically had access to all the FIBA games minus the ones that were in your zone or in your region. So it was awesome, honestly. Really good $7 to $8 spent. You have access to like mini trailers and condensed versions of the game. So it was definitely a cool pass to have. So shout out to all these teams that really, Australia, I don't want to leave them out. I don't know if I said Lithuania already. The main topic of conversation is that the US failed to even win a medal. And I came to their defense on multiple comment sections, multiple places. Just, me saying, no, USA is going to win gold. Like, I fully expect this team to win. And I still feel like this team had enough to win it all. And while it may not have been the result, I do still like that team. One of my first problems just watching this team was the lack of use for Walker Kessler. And I always thought that he would be kind of like a niche pick, right? Kind of like a specific type of situation. But clearly the rebounding was a problem. And, Jaren Jackson Jr. playing out of position is another problem. Obviously foul trouble with him. He didn't have his best FIBA World Cup, even though during the exhibition, I had put out a video about Team USA and basically saying that Jaren Jackson Jr. was like an unsung hero for the US team. But, that quickly went away, when the actual, right, like when group play started, when the elimination stage started, it was just, it just wasn't good for him. And obviously, without Brandon Ingram in the starting lineup against Germany won the World Cup. We lost to them by 2. And we didn't have Brandon Ingram, who wasn't playing his best, right? He had really good moments, but he definitely didn't have his best moments out there. So, I just want to say that, right? Like, we lost to the champs by 2. We play for another medal and lose to Canada, who has a bunch of NBA talent. Obviously, you know, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was on a tear. Dylan Brooks was awesome in FIBA. The argument always, the popular argument out there is, oh, well, we didn't even send our best NBA talent, right? Like, that's usually what you'll see out there, people defending the US. And that is partially true. Like, I don't like to use that argument because it always gets nullified by the same thing. And it's people saying, oh, well, no excuses, right? Like, that's always the comeback for that. At least the one that I see the most. And, you know, it is excuses. We still played for medals. Like, I don't know how that just goes just like under the rug, right? Like, that just somehow gets swept under the rug. Like, I get it. It's the US. Obviously, it is a disappointment anytime the US doesn't win something, right? Like, that's just how it feels, especially when it comes to basketball. But again, like, I don't know. I think that a lot has to be said about a team that everyone doubted and still playing for medals. You know, like, we still dominated a lot of our games, you know, and a lot of them were bad starts, but, you know, we still definitely showed a big gap, right? Like, even with our middle tier / a couple of, you know, potential breakout players, these guys are all young. But I think that like, you know, the argument about the world is catching up, yes, of course it is. Look at the All-NBA team, first All-NBA, right? First team All-NBA. There's Shai, there's Luka, there's Giannis, and Embiid. And if there weren't positional voting rules, potentially there could have been a full first team All-NBA of international players. So yes, the world is catching up. I think we're in for probably the most anticipated Olympics since the Redeem team. I do have something that I've been thinking about, though, you know, like, yeah, you know, everyone's like hyped about, you know, next year, yes, like, you know, we'll send KD, we'll send Steph, we'll send LeBron, you know, like all these names are popping up already. And I just want to say, you know, these guys are on their final few years, right, of their careers. So, like, I wonder what the Olympics will look like without a KD or a Steph or a LeBron. You know, it's going to be time for a real passing of the torch. I guess we're going to see what happens at the Olympics.